So I'm turning 33 this year, and I'm so glad that I have found it. I found the one thing in life that most people on earth never find. The biggest percentage of people will actually die still looking, not even knowing that this is what they are looking for. Some people will discover it on their deathbed and they will live in regret for as long as they are on their deathbed. And then a few will discover it when they are in their old age, maybe past 60 years, at 70 years of age, when they have so little to live for and they can't do too much to change a lot about their future. And then very, very few people will actually discover it when they still have a lot of time to live. So probably in their 30s, 40s, and minimally few in their 20s. And that one thing is satisfaction. That one thing is purpose. You see, growing up, we are told stories and we always have aspirations. A lot of us aspire to be doctors when we are growing up, want to be pilots, want to be teachers, want to be like our parents. The one thing that we are never taught though is why we are chasing these things. And that is the one thing that most people actually never sit down to realize and think about until it's probably too late. Why are we doing the things that we are doing? Why do you want to be who you want to be? A story is told of an encounter between a fisherman and a businessman. So on this random evening, a fisherman was lying down trying to catch some fish by the beach. It was a very beautiful evening with a very lovely sunset. And he was using, the single fishing rod, the ones that just catch a single fish. So there he was lying down. And then at the same time, a businessman was taking a walk along the beach. He had probably had a very stressing day, so he was trying to relax off the beach, just walking along the beach. And then he encountered the fisherman and he told him, hey, you won't catch so much fish that way. How about you actually get up and go work instead of just lying down there? And then the fisherman smiled at the businessman and told him, well, and what will my reward be? And then the businessman told him, you'll be able to make some more money. That way you can get a net so you can catch more fish. And then the fisherman looks back at the businessman and tells him, and what will my reward be? And the businessman tells him, well, it's obvious. You'll certainly get more money and you'll probably buy a boat and you'll be able to catch more fish. And the fisherman looks at him and is like, and what will my reward be? And of course, at this point, the businessman was starting to get agitated. He's like, well, obviously you'll certainly get more money. You'll be able to travel around the world in, the best waters with the greatest fish, catch so much fish. And the fisherman looked at him again and he was like, and what will my reward be? And then the businessman, of course, very agitated at this point, looks at him and tells him, then, you don't need to make any more money. You'll have so much money that you don't have to make any more money. You can just get back and relax at the beach. Just sit down and look at the sky and relax. You don't need to work anymore. And then the fisherman looks at him and smiles. And then he's like, and so what am I doing right now? And of course, what I personally learned from the story is not that, you shouldn't work hard, but that you need to define what fulfillment is for you, yeah? What is that thing that drives fulfillment for you? The fisherman understood that his fulfillment was probably coming from the moments that he was spending. For him, it was never ever going to come from the work and the hard work and everything or anything else that he would do. The businessman probably was getting a lot of fulfillment from his work, but probably had no idea about fulfillment. So in the end, you need to be very intentional about how you think about the things that we do in our lives. Most of us, as we grow up, society has taught us, and what we usually think or imagine is that satisfaction is going to come from things like having a lot of cars, having great wealth, having a very beautiful house, maybe having a beautiful family, maybe having sex, maybe relationships with people and other people, maybe having social recognition. We imagine that these are the things that are going to give us satisfaction. Until for a lot of people, they reach a particular point in their lives that they actually realize that they are not satisfied. The things that they imagined and felt like are actually going to give them satisfaction are not giving them satisfaction. And that's what the world has actually defined as midlife crisis. Midlife crisis usually happens when someone reaches a particular point. While growing up, you imagine you're going to be getting a lot of money, you're going to be doing all these kinds of things. And then probably you're in like 30s, you're in your early 40s, and you realize that, what the hell am I looking for? Yeah. What have I been working for? Personally, it happened to me in the past. It happened to me when my mother passed on. So about 3 years ago, my mother passed on. She was quite young. aged 50, she really gave birth to me when she was really young. I think she was like 17 when she gave birth to me. So she passed away aged just 50, and I had a lot of plans for her, a lot of things that I honestly wanted to do for her, but I had not done for her at that point because I was still trying to prioritize a lot of other things. And at that time, I had so much regret in my life. I had a lot of pain, and it got me thinking, what is the value of life? What is the purpose of life? Was my mother fulfilled when she died? Why was she working? Because as much as I remember, my mother literally worked all her life. So for the most years of my life, she actually worked even Monday to Sunday, and then after that, she started working Monday to Saturday, and she would rest on Sundays, but I mean, she worked most of her life. And when she died, she was actually still working. So I kept thinking to myself, what's the purpose of life? What is the goal in life? Is it about getting more and more things? Yeah, because at that point, I was working, I was hoping that, I can acquire some things, and then that way I can start giving back to her. And from my experience, I actually realized that acquiring things, a lot of the things that we think we're going to get first satisfaction from, actually don't find satisfaction. I do remember that before I got my very first car, I imagined that when I do get a car, I'm going to be fulfilled, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be the kind of person who is glad. I don't think I'll need anything more. And when I got my first car, I was like, okay, now I need a vintage car. The thrill only lasted maybe a few months, and now I felt like I needed another car. So I now wanted a vintage car, and I encountered a vintage car, I got the vintage car, and I now had a vintage car. I'll tell you the honest truth. Currently, I probably drive that vintage car once in a month or once every 2 months. I don't give a damn about it. And then after that, I was like, I need another car. Now I got another car, a pickup truck. And it was at that point that I actually realized that, hey, the things that I'm actually trying to chase, I'm not going to satisfy me. That's when I realized that I don't think I actually need more cars, because I noticed that even after I got the third car, I wanted another car and another car. And the same exact thing has happened to me in my businesses. So if you don't know, I actually happen to be a farmer. So when I started out, I started a farm with just about 800 chickens. And at that point, I imagined to myself that if I ever get to 2,000 chickens and at most 4,000 chickens, I'll be happy. Because I imagine that if I do have 4,000 chickens, I'll probably be earning maybe $4,000 per month. And what more would I need if I'm earning $4,000 per month? What more? I literally have everything that I do have. I go to 2,000 birds, go to 4,000 chickens, and just like that, it was never enough. I wanted more. I wanted more. Currently, I do have 12,000 chickens on the farm, and I still do want more. I want 20,000, I want 30,000, I want 100,000 chickens. But why? Why do I want all that? Is $4,000 a month going to change anything? Is it going to make me any happier than $10,000 a month? Once I get to $10,000, is it ever going to make me more happier than when I was making $4,000? The reality is that it never will, because there are people who are making $1 million, people who are making $1 billion, and they still don't find fulfillment. So then, where does fulfillment come from? After the passing of my mom, I actually sat down and realized that for me, fulfillment actually comes from one of three things. Number one, just knowing what my enough is. So I reached a particular point where I knew that this amount of money is what I call enough. Now, it's okay for me to work towards more, but I should never be desperate for more. Yeah. So I shouldn't try to lose my joy and happiness and satisfaction just for the desire of making more money. Because the more money I make, that's way more than my enough. I actually don't need that. So for me, it doesn't make more sense, for example, to try and double and triple my enough, yet I've actually attained my enough. Yeah. Whatever amount of money it is. For it could be $2,000, another person $5,000, for another person $50,000 or $100,000 a month. What is it? So when I realized what my enough is, I actually realized that I don't have to chase money. I can actually decide to spend my time doing the things that I do love and the things that I do enjoy and the things that actually do find me actual satisfaction, instead of just chasing more. Because in reality, chasing more, the closer you get to the more, the farther away it moves away. So if you feel like your enough is going to be $2,000, by the time you're earning $1,500, when you're really close to the 2,000, you'll feel like your enough is now 3,000. And as you get close to 3,000, your enough is now 10,000. And as you get close to 10,000, your enough is $1 million. And that number will just keep getting bigger. So then, do you just keep chasing that enough until you drop and die? No. So realizing what my enough is actually played a very huge role in setting me free. The second thing, and I personally believe this is even more impactful, is enjoying the journey and not looking forward to a destination. It's about finding satisfaction and enjoying the day-to-day life. I do have a farm, for example, I run the farm. I should enjoy the interactions that I do have with the managers, the people who are working with me. When I'm, sitting down and thinking about expanding the farm, I need to sit down and think about it in a satisfactory way, a playful way. I shouldn't stress about particular decisions. If I feel like, I don't have the money to probably expand and double the farm this year, do I really need to double the farm this year? Is it going to really change my life? Is it going to make me more satisfied or happy if I double the farm this year? No. So if I don't have the money to, double the production of the farm this year, I can just increase it by 10% and I'll be happy. I just need to do it in a happy way. So it's about enjoying the moments, enjoying the journey. So if the goal, for example, for me is 100,000 birds, I should enjoy the way to 100,000 and not just wait for 100,000 for me to find satisfaction. Because in reality, by the time I get to 100,000, the goal will be 1,000,000. So in reality, I live life without ever hitting that goal. So instead of doing that, just enjoy the actual steps involved in the day-to-day life. And in addition to that, the thing involved in that is also enjoying the moments. Yeah. So enjoy moments. Life is about moments. So moments with family, moments with loved ones. It's not about events, it's not about getting so many things, no. It's about the moments that we do enjoy each and every day. So I personally choose to pay more attention to the moments. So spending time with my children, playing around with them, making sure that they're smiling, taking them to bed, speaking with the workers on the farm, trying to motivate them, explain to them what the value of life is. Those are the things that actually satisfy me, and those are the moments that actually do matter in life. And then finally for me, it's also knowing that I can serve my God, because I happen to be a Christian. And so for me, it's about serving God, helping other people to understand God, helping other people in their times of need, whether it's tuition, whether it's food, a particular group of people, those that I can actually handle and reach out to. I can actually do those things to them, and for me, it brings me a lot of satisfaction. So I'm hoping that in this video, you'll actually realize that and understand that you can live your entire life trying to figure out why the hell you're living, and you'll die never realizing that. Simply continuing and chasing things that you never achieve. But also, you can choose to be intentional and live a fulfilled life each and every day, starting today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell. Catch you very soon with another video. Lots of love. Bye-bye.